And I guess I've been dreaming. 'Cause now that I'm woke, everything that I see ain't what it seems, man. I guess I've been dreaming. 'Cause now that I'm here, what I feel motivates me with reason. I guess I've been dreaming. 'Cause now that I'm woke, everything that I see ain't what it seems, man. I guess I've been dreaming. 'Cause now that I'm here, what I feel motivates me with reason. I guess I've been dreaming.
What it is, what it do, fam. Welcome back to the channel, man. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And we are back, man. We're finna keep rocking out these TikToks. You know what I'm talking about? Because these things are getting good. You know what I mean? I hear about the little things here and there. And then you see a whole bunch of stuff like, whoa. It's a lot deeper than you're thinking, right? I mean, I know about some things. I can't sit here and say in front like I you know what I'm saying, I know about it all. But the downloads are definitely coming, and I've been able to chain link a whole bunch of stuff. You feel me? So we gonna keep rocking them out, man. I hope everybody's doing good out there. You know what I mean? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. If you are rocking with me, that is, you feel me? Your choice. But until then, without further ado, you know how we do it. Let's get it bustin'.
You ever wake up with a sore neck?
Hell yeah.
There's this weird theory
Sore
that
necks.
whenever you wake up with a sore neck, it's because a demon tried to break your neck. Type shit. If you get
Never
goosebumps,
heard that
even though
before.
you're not cold, which I tend to get a lot.
I get goosebumps all the time.
Bro, I swear to God, bro. It's apparently because several ghosts are looking at you, like at that moment.
Do feel
I'm gonna have to
good.
look into this.
I do get goosebumps.
Swear to God, bro.
When I get them, like my whole body's like.
I get that sense, bro, in my head that like
Yeah.
something's fucking wrong, and it's weird because it happens in my house like often.
Yeah.
You hear somebody call your name,
Yeah.
but
Real spit.
there's nobody there. Whenever that happens, it's a demon trying to like get a hold of
Fuck
you.
you.
Yeah, like trying to capture you. I used to have my aunt in the house. She used to be living
Trying to
with
tap
me.
into your aura.
I think she was calling my name, and then like ask her if she was calling my name, and she'd be like, "No, I don't know what you're talking about," like type shit. And it's creepy, bro, cause like I'll be like, "What the fuck?"
Shit will be tweaking.
Have you ever had a dream with somebody random in it?
Yeah.
For sure.
Bro, I had this dream the other night, right? Some random kids were in it and shit like that, and they were like playing around, and like we were all chilling in this car. And then I woke up and I was like, who the fuck were they? Whenever you see random people in your dreams, it's like ghosts that are around you.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
Happens
bro.
to, like-
So Courage the Cowardly Dog, right? You remember that shit?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's based on a
I
true
definitely
story.
remember
What was
that.
You know the house, right?
Yeah.
It's in New Mexico. There was once like two elderly people that lived there, and they reportedly were seeing like a bunch of scary shit, like monsters and shit like that. And they claimed them to be skinwalkers. And if you didn't know, skinwalkers can take on the persona of anything that they eat or kill. Apparently, the police went there. The old people were gone, and all they found was the dead dog.
So happened to the parents.
That nobody knows. They just disappeared.
Courage. Okay. Listen, y'all. I'm willing to guarantee you that at least 90 to 99% of the stuff that you're being shown, as far as like the cartoons and movies are concerned, realer than you think. This aspect I've been hip to for a long time. I just had this feeling, and now a lot of those feelings as a child are starting to come to fruition, and it's like, it's kind of mind-boggling, cool at the same time, you know what I mean? And relieving, because I mean, at some points, I mean, if you know, you know. At some point, you feel like you're going crazy, but now that all of this stuff is really coming out, it's like, oh yeah, okay, okay, I see now. I see what's going on. That's the stages that I went through.
There's like a theory of like, it was about the monuments, the Lincoln Looker, the Washington Tower, and like the Statue of Liberty and all that. And it's like that there's these creatures inside of them, and like they feed on people and stuff like that. And people get like kidnapped and brought to these things, and they like power the underground systems of like what the top people got going on. Like it's a crazy ass thing, even though it's based on like an alternate universe. It fucked me up, basically trying to say like it's not happening here. There can be.
I mean, hold on. Don't it sound like the Dark Tower? Like that movie, The Dark Tower? When they was taking the people to the, you know what I mean? And the kid could see the, you know what I mean? In the dream, he was tapped in. And he had that power. You feel me? Which is the total, yep. Okay. So, you see?
Be very well certain parts to it or components that are true.
Scariest conspiracy theories in the world that will seriously change your life. This photo shows the scariest conspiracy theories in the world. Now, as I'm sure you know, in this series we're going through from the least scary to the ones that will literally change your life. Now, if you're easily scared, do not watch this, and with that said, let's kick off part 9. When I say this is mental,
Disclaimer.
I mean it. So this is by far the craziest one yet. So today we're going to be speaking about the higher governments. But we all know there's a government, you know, you've got your politicians, your presidents, everything. But what if there's someone above that? Almost like the Illuminati. Let's take a look. So this right here is the philosophical theory of Plato's cave. I know it sounds confusing, but
definitely over the Illuminati.
basically take a look at the diagram. So basically the projection on the walls of the media and what we see, we're the people sitting down, and the people behind it are the higher government. So like I've said, that's the theory. So what we're seeing is just the outside, the government. But behind that, what we can't see, there's something higher actually going on. Kind of makes sense? Right, stick with me. Now moving on, we've got this place called Bohemian Grove, which is where high-ranking government officials, politicians and everything go every year. It's a very top-secret meeting, but no one really knows what takes place here. The theory is it is a meeting to do with Illuminati or a higher government. Now moving on, I guarantee you did not know this. There is actually a secret passageway behind Mount Rushmore. It's physically impossible to get in because there's this massive slab in front of it, but it's estimated behind here is the Hall of Records, which literally contains all of the secrets of America. Mental, isn't it? There is of course tons of stuff that we don't know and stuff going on in the world constantly. Theories suggest that it can't just be the president and politicians behind everything. So maybe there is some kind of higher government out there. They're controlled by the governments we see, and they are controlled by the governments that they see. Mental, let me know in the comments what you think. Scariest conspiracy theories in the world that will seriously change your life. Part 11. Today we are talking about time loops. This is mental and very, very confusing. So you've seen films such as Groundhog Day, Palm Springs, or Dark or anything. You kind of get the gist of this, but people are kind of stuck in a time loop, reliving the same day again and again and again. Like things like Groundhog Day, Happy Death Day, all of that kind of stuff. What if this actually exists in movies?
I just said that.
Maybe there are some kind of wormholey, weird places on Earth that connect interdimensionally with parallel universes. Told you it was confusing, didn't I? Now, if you don't know, parallel universes, a universe is the same as our, where things play out differently. But maybe there are actual things like this out there. So kind of think of it as if like a black hole, but on Earth. And maybe when you enter this, it kind of freezes time, so you're just stuck on your own. Almost like in your own bubble, just going through the same day again and again and again. I mean, it's mental and a crazy theory, but I mean, if you think about certain explanations for it, it kind of could be possible. But
sounds like purgatory.
These are scary what-if theories. What if everything behind you disappears, but when you look back, it reappears? What if our shadows were warning us about something in the dark because they disappear in it? What if you're the only person left on Earth and everyone and everything around us are just imaginary people and things we've made up so that we don't feel lonely? What if every time you think you hear your name being called, it's actually just your family trying to wake you up from a coma? What if the meteor that killed the dinosaurs was actually a UFO and we're the aliens? These are crazy what-if theories. What if air is
Okay. For the latter, aliens. Nobody on the planet is from the planet. Point blank, period. Y'all gonna find out. Y'all gonna find out. I mean, it's a lot of us trying to tell y'all. We trying to tell y'all. We trying to tell y'all. But you're not listening. Or you don't want to listen. But nobody's from this planet. And soon everybody's gonna find out exactly who is who and where people are from. Trust me on that one.
actually poisonous, it's just taking 80 years to kill us. What if the reason we can't walk through mirrors is because our reflection is blocking us because they want to protect us from the other side? What if birthmarks are the places that actually killed us in our past lives?
I heard about
What
that.
if dreams are reality and reality as we know it is a dream?
He's
That's
also the
true.
one who told me about Bohemian Grove. These are the
That's
people that used to
true.
hang out at this place, and they would put on robes, and they would worship an owl god, and they would burn an effigy. And they're playing, and Alex snuck in and made video footage of this shit. And no one's denying that it's real. This really did happen. They're in with these bankers and former presidents, and they're dressed like druids.
Yes.
And some guy brings over something that it's an effigy that's supposed to be a body, a wrapped up effigy. It's also a bunch of sticks in a blanket, but it's like shaped like a body.
Yeah.
And then they drop it on the fire, and they're all worshiping an owl god. This place where like former presidents go. There's a photograph of it's Ronald Reagan with Herbert Walker Bush and a couple other people all standing around. Like, first of all, Epstein had this crazy place in New York City.
7-story palace.
That the guy who owned Victoria's Secrets, he gave it to him.
Yeah, because of probably blackmail. Bill Gates. Bill Gates stays there and tried to deny it, but Bill Gates denies staying with Epstein, but confirmed he stayed there and in his Paris home.
He met with him post his first arrest, correct?
Yes.
Because he was arrested.
Yeah, a lot of people did. Chelsea Handler had dinner with him, I believe, after the arrest, too. I mean, a lot of people looked past that, apparently.
Yeah, British royal.
Okay, Bill Gates met with Jeffrey Epstein many times despite his past. And where are they getting all the money, first of all? Where's he getting the money to get this island?
He was also the money manager for a guy named Les Wexner, who's a billionaire who owns Victoria's Secret, The Limited, among other things.
And
So
that's the guy
he was gifting Epstein a property. He gave him a $70
Well, that's where he
million
got some of the first money.
You might recognize this painting, the girl with a pearl earring, but did you know the story of this girl is haunting? Her name is Florique Rimjiek. She was only 19 years old when Dutch artist Johannes Vermeer painted her. But Johannes wanted the painting to depict an imaginary girl, so he murdered Florique and tried to cover up her existence. He did it very successfully. Many art scholars still believe this painting to be an imaginary woman, but recently Dutch historians have found evidence of the girl's existence through diary entries and other paintings of a similar looking girl.
There's huge conspiracy theories about the Denver airport. It's huge.
What?
There's giant.
That shit just threw me off. Listen. Allegedly, I heard that there was a ritual, spell or something where the spirit can actually, or the soul of a person or spirit of a person, because there is a difference, can be placed inside these paintings. That's how you get your haunted dolls and stuff like that, because somebody's probably off in this person and capturing, in that instance, capturing their essence, soul, spirit, and boggling it like a genie. Incantation to transfer it over to a picture. What do you think?
Bunkers for like the end of the world for the elite to come and stay safe after everybody else dies. There's a giant horse statue, and people say it symbolizes the apocalypse and the end of the world because it has bright red glowing eyes. The artist that designed it, during the construction of the horse, a piece of the horse fell off, landed on him, cut his leg off, and he bled to death. And so people say this thing is obviously evil because even the guy who constructed it died from it.
Here's some of the greatest conspiracy theories of all time.
Because it got that thing on it.
Many
They put
families
that thing
have
on
come
the
to know
picture.
and love
When he
the
designed
movie
it, it already,
WALL-E,
you know what I'm talking
the
about? Had to get that
adorable robot
blood,
that
you
goes
feel
on an
me?
adventure
Got it in the
through
sword
space.
right there. You know what
Many
I'm talking
times
about?
throughout the film, it is made clear that Wally stores spare parts to fix himself. It's assumed that he takes them from the deactivated Wallys since they no longer need them. But how exactly did they deactivate if they are made to roam the planet forever? This theory states that the other robots kept stealing Wally's collection of items because they were still in their default programming, much like when Wally was reset and did the same. Wally eventually got sick of it and broke all of the other robots in various ways, such as crushing them with trash cubes and taking their parts for salvage.
What if I told you that some Nazis
That story sound familiar. But I digress.
didn't die, and some of the worst ones escaped to South America? Let's talk about it. So, it's actually a pretty well-known fact that after World War II, a lot of Nazis and ranking officers escaped to South America so that they wouldn't have to go through the Nuremberg trials. Just to go over it briefly for anyone who might not know and might not remember, the Nuremberg trials were a set of court trials that were held by the Allied powers after World War II to basically persecute the remaining Nazis, or some of the remaining Nazis, for war crimes. But here's where everything gets interesting. So again, for anybody who might not know, during the Nazis' rule over a lot of Europe, there was actually a doctor. His name was Josef Mengele. He was also known as the Doctor of Death or the Angel of Death. But what's fascinating about Dr. Mengele is that he was actually a firm believer, much like Hitler, in the idea of eugenics, or basically creating the perfect race using really fucked up genetic studies. And there were a lot of people, specifically Jews and a lot of people put into the concentration camps, who were actually subjects of Dr. Mengele. And a lot of what Mengele was trying to do was actually to breed out imperfections in humanity to create the perfect white, blonde-haired, blue-eyed race, to create the perfect Aryan race. And a part of his studies actually involved the study of twins. Dr. Mengele was a firm believer that twins were entirely genetic, and actually later in life and later in the world, we also realized that twins do have a genetic component. If a lot of people in your family tend to have twins, you're more likely to have twins. Or if you're a man, you're more likely to foster the creation of twins. Now here's where it gets really fucking interesting. This place in Brazil, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that name because I can't, is also known as the Twins Town or the Village of Twins. And like I said earlier, it's a known fact that a lot of Nazis who escaped the Nuremberg trials fled to South America. Some of the countries they fled to were Paraguay, Brazil, and Argentina. What's interesting about this place specifically, though, is that they have an alarmingly or abnormally high rate of twin births in this town for an unknown reason. Nobody's actually been able to say why this town specifically fosters so many pairs of twins. And it's not necessarily a genetic thing because obviously not everybody in the town is related. So there's actually a theory that Dr. Mengele escaped to this place and he continued his research, and that's why there are so many twins, because he was researching on the locals there. But here's where it gets scary. But for me to continue, I have to go into a part 2, and I'm really sorry guys, but trust me, it's worth it. So look out for part 2.
This SpongeBob conspiracy is really creepy.
So you guys know the Krabby Patty, right?
There's a really dark conspiracy of people knowing the formula.
Some people think it's actually made out of crab meat.
I know that sounds crazy, but let me explain. Notice how the Krusty Krab is actually shaped the same way as a crab trap. Also, there's evidence in this clip of Mr. Krabs.
So that's what I taste like.
If you guys listen close enough, it said, so that's what I taste like. Maybe that's why Mr. Krabs is always trying to hide the formula.
This dark theory about Willy Wonka will ruin your childhood. Do not watch if you love this film.
It's probably why they're trying to hide the formula at the major restaurants, right? Because people are starting to red flag them or something. I'm just saying. Just hearing stuff like that, just kind of, I put the 2 and 2 together. Like I said, we hear the chain link so we can learn for educational purposes only.
So we all know Willy Wonka owns a chocolate factory and invites 5 lucky kids to visit the chocolate factory and a chance to win the ultimate prize. But what if I told you Willy Wonka is actually a serial killer? Throughout the film, he tests the kids in all different ways to see who's worthy enough to own the chocolate factory. So the theory is that Willy Wonka is actually a murderer and kills all these kids in like Saw-style traps. But this theory gets even weirder, right? So they say that Willy Wonka experienced something as a child which got him obsessed with traps. So what if he was actually Kevin McAllister from Home Alone? Do you believe this creepy theory?
Can't necessarily say that, because if we're gonna place that on movies and people setting traps, then I know some movies of some boys setting some traps for some ghouls and goblins and goonies, and yeah, So I wouldn't necessarily say that. I mean, 'cause we're dealing with a monster here, right? You know what? Dealing with them folks, I wouldn't be surprised. Y'all have a good one.